Ladies and gentlemen, assalamu alaikum. What an honor it is to be here in our first ever collaboration with MMA All Out. Mr. Rio Altai, myself, Abdullah Zbayd from Break Your Face, and none other than the one and only UFC lightweight, Beneil Dariush. Gentlemen, it's a pleasure being here with you. Thank you both for your time.
My pleasure. Thank you for having me.
Looking good, Ben.
Indeed. We're excited to get started, and I'm sure you're super busy with your fight less than 72 hours away. We're not going to waste your time. Let's get right into it. You mentioned you were planning to cut an additional 10 pounds or so, I believe, from yesterday. Hope that's going safely and well. All is on track for tomorrow's weigh-in?
Yeah, weight is exactly where it needs to be. I think I'm like either 10 or 9 pounds away right now.
Nice. Good.
Having this fight, do you think... Benny, this is your last step towards the title. When and if you win it?
That's what I've been told. So I take the UFC at their word. But yeah, this is the last one, I think.
Wait. Told who? Told how?
I was told by Hunter Campbell.
Okay. So, but not in writing. It's just word of mouth.
Yes. Okay. I believe these guys.
You have to.
Yeah.
Benny, you're riding an 8-fight win streak heading into this one. Obviously, there's enough motivation with the number one contender spot on the line in this fight. But do numbers like this motivate you more? As the number of wins has been increasing, is this something that boosts your confidence even further, or would you rather not think about it for any reason at all?
I'm not one of those guys who thinks about my wins. My security is really in my faith. I'm a devout Christian, and that's where my security comes from. So whether I'm winning or whether I'm losing, that's where I go in terms of security.
You were talking about the weight earlier. Do you think there will be any surprises with Charles Oliveira not making his weight? Have you heard anything from his camp?
I haven't heard anything, and people are stressing me. I don't know who's more stressed out, me or Charles, because he knows better, So, but I'm worried. People are like, "Do you think this fight's still gonna happen? Do you see issues with the scale?" I don't know why people are trying to scare me, but I'm looking at it like this fight's gonna happen for sure.
Is there an alternate, by the way? Sorry.
No, not that I know of.
I'm glad you're looking at it positively. Charles Oliveira, no doubt he's a dangerous opponent. He was on a tear, seemed invincible for a while, with everybody seeming to forget that he had lost in the past. Islam Makhachev reminded the world in round number 2 of their fight in Abu Dhabi. He wasn't shy to engage, neither on the ground or on the feet, but he even in fact seemed eager to get that submission. Is that something you might consider for your fight this weekend? You're strong on the ground yourself. Do you believe that gives you a similar advantage when you face the former champ?
Yeah, I think my grappling is definitely an advantage in this fight. I think just not being afraid of his aggressiveness is an advantage.
There was talk about the showmanship and the fact that it might go to a lay and pray, since both of you guys are grapplers. I know you like to duke it out, but I know he likes to hit. But do you think you guys gonna cancel each other? It's gonna go to the ground? It's gonna be a bit of a boring fight?
I mean, let's say I take him down. How is it going to be lay and pray? The guy goes nothing for submissions, and that's the same thing for me. My goal is to pass the guard, get to the mount, get to the back, and finish as well. Like, the idea of lay and pray, it's more of a wrestling thought, right? You take the guy down because you're not too aware of submissions. You focus more on ground and pound, but because, again, the other guy has very good jiu-jitsu, you're spending the whole time defending, and then therefore you're just laying and praying you get a decision, right? I just don't see how this fight would be a lay and pray. Whether he takes me down or I take him down, I just don't get it. Like, where do you see that? That's what I would say to that.
And Beneil, as you just mentioned, with a win, a promise of a title shot. You have a big fan base in Abu Dhabi. You heard them cheering for you like crazy when you beat Mateusz Gamrot at 280. We had the honor of witnessing it live and hearing those cheers in person. Would you prefer to have your fight back at Etihad Arena or anywhere specific for that matter? Or at this point, is it more just like, give me my shot, even if it's in the streets, I want it?
I'm going to be very genuine here. I always tell the truth and try my best to tell the truth. Abu Dhabi was so good to me. When I went to Abu Dhabi, everyone was very kind to me. People took me to dinner, even though I couldn't eat. People said, "Hey, do you need anything? Can we pick up something for you? Do you want us to take your family to the mall? Do you want to go horseback riding? Do you want whatever you want to do?" Like, to be treated like that, it was it made me so grateful for Abu Dhabi. Um, Obviously, the flight is very difficult to get to Abu Dhabi, especially with the family. But if an opportunity presents itself in Abu Dhabi, I would love to go there.
Well, since Abdullah brought geography into this, I'm going to tell you some thoughts that maybe you're not aware of. Charles Oliveira has never ever won in Canada. He had 2 fights in Canada. He's 0-4. That being said, he's never lost 2 fights in a row. Unfortunately, every single time he went to Canada, he lost from the first round, either a knockout or submission. Now, you guys brought the geography. I did not bring the geography. I've been trying to be silent. But that being brought into the table by the guy next to you, Abdullah. So I'm going to ask you, do you think, is there any advantage to Beneil Dariush in this fight, having the fight in Canada?
No, I'm not superstitious like that. I'm not one of those guys who believes if you're on a mountain you get this, if you're in the valley you get this. I believe God is sovereign over everything. So wherever we fight, it's in God's hands, and whatever happens, it's up to Him.
And Beniel, on the subject of losses, obviously as an MMA fighter, it's common to deal with professional losses. You mentioned in an interview recently that after your last loss against Alexander Hernandez, you considered retiring and hanging up the gloves. Obviously a great decision, not too undefeated now since 2018, but going through that and experiencing it, knowing now about Oliveira's losses in Canada, do you feel that facing him after his first loss in a long time, gives you any psychological advantage at all? Especially after he lost by submission, with jiu-jitsu obviously being one of his strong areas as well.
I'm not sure. Psychological advantages. I don't think too much about Charles. I obviously I think about his skill set, but I don't think about him too much because you dive into their mindset, and then maybe you end up in a rabbit hole, and then it backfires on you, and then you're stuck in that rabbit hole. So what I think about is, look where I was in 2018. My career was pretty much dead, and God brought my career back to life, and so I go forth with that faith, with that strength, and that security. That's what I do. If I focus too much on him, I'm going to get stuck in that rabbit hole, and then I might end up losing this fight because I was overthinking it.
Yeah, got you.
If we take a SWOT analysis of your striking versus his, every time somebody fought Charles Oliveira, he was in trouble, always in the first round. And somehow he finds a way to come and turn around. He has longer limbs. Do you think, I'm talking striking, I'm not bringing the grappling part because that's what you both are known for, but striking wise, do you think he has the advantage having the longer reach?
No, I fought plenty of taller opponents. Originally when I fought James Vick, he was 6'3", undefeated, and I was able to knock him out. Tony Ferguson was longer than me. I fought plenty of tall guys. I fought Tony Martin, lots of long guys. It didn't feel any different.
Yep. If I may, Beniel, I'd like to take you back to training. We recently interviewed Fernando Padilla, who trains out of Team Oyama. He recently had a big win in his UFC debut against Julian Erosa. He spoke very highly of you and the team at King's MMA when he visited, and how helpful you guys were in training, how generous you were with your time. Fernando has quite the record, 15-4, but young nonetheless at only 26 years. What advice do you have for these young fighters, whether they be new to the UFC like Fernando or just starting their MMA career in general? What do you wish someone had told you back when you first started?
Humble yourself and continue to learn new things, because sometimes you'll learn new things and you won't use them, but then sometimes they come back like 2-3 years later and you see yourself using those techniques. So don't ever look at a technique and be like, oh, I'm never going to use that. at least absorb it in, at least take it in, have an idea of it. Try to learn as much as you can, because you'd be amazed how these moves that you learn, they'll almost like they come back into the cycle, and you'll be able to reuse them. So that's one advice I have. Uh, the other one is inside the octagon. Inside training is very important, but how you live your life outside of the training is very important too. There is something to be said about being disciplined outside of your life, outside of your fighting life. If you're out partying, you're out drinking, you're out just not even eating the right way, you're not disciplined, it's going to catch up to you. This is something I've seen over the years with many fighters. Man, I've seen so many fighters more talented than me, faster, stronger. They had it all. They had that it factor that I clearly don't have, and they didn't make it. Why? Because they that it factor, it took them outside the training too much.
It's been said that the way that Charles Oliveira defends against someone advancing towards him is both hands in front and leg on top, which makes him susceptible to a spinning back fist. This is one of your best weapons,
Yeah, I don't know if a spinning back fist is my best weapon. It's honestly, I don't really throw it in training. I'm telling you that one fight had happened, and a buddy of mine, his name is Billy. He's like a young kid. He messages me the week of the fight and says, "Hey, in the UFC game, it shows you doing this move a lot. You should try it." And I said, "Okay, buddy. If it presents itself, it will." And like I didn't think much of it. And somehow in the fight it happened, and I couldn't stop smiling. But I can't promise you that I'm going to end up throwing a spinning back fist, because to be honest with you, I don't really throw it in the gym. I really don't. I have a ton of my sparring footage, and I don't know if I could find one right now.
Well, at the end of the fourth minute of the first round, he's going to advance towards you, spinning back fist, right hand. He drops down, turn around, take his back, and that'll be the end of the fight. Round one submission. Beneil Dariush. What do you think?
All right, it's in my pocket. I will definitely apply that.
Taking it away from everything, how is the family? The UFC is taking care of you for this fight, because I know there's always been a way, some sort of like is Beneil Dariush getting his dues? Are they taking care of you this fight?
Yeah, I mean, nothing new. The usual. They, give us our rooms. Listen. The people who work at the UFC are some of the best people you'll ever meet. They're the sweetest, kindest, most patient people. So, yeah, as far as that goes, the UFC is great. There's nothing to complain about as far as the staff. It would be great if you can get an extra room or something like that, but that's a whole nother story. That's something I could talk to the UFC myself.
Sorry, just taking out of Abdullah's time. Who's in your corner this time? Same guys?
Same as last time, yeah.
Say hi to them, because they were really, really great group of people. You surround yourself by a great group of people. People tell who you are by the people you surround yourself by. So I like those guys.
Thank you, brother. I'll let them know.
Yes, sir, indeed. Rio, actually, that's all on my end. I don't want to take up too much of Beneil's time. I know with the weight cut and the last days before the fight, I know it gets crazy. So if you have any further questions, Rio, please feel free.
Nothing, but I know it's early in the morning. I know the baby is probably waking you up. I know that they're close to you. Always keep them around. You are a great, wonderful family man, but more than anything else, you are a gentleman and a half. I wish you all the luck, win, lose, or draw. You are my friend. You are my blood. We have another brother with us, Abdullah. I really wish you, if nothing else, just make sure that you stay safe.
Thank you, brother. I really appreciate you. That means so much coming from you.
All the best. All the best, Beneil. We
Take
really
care.
wish you all the best for your fight. Good luck, brother.
Take care. Bye-bye. Nice meeting you, brother.
Nice to meet you too. Thank you.